Imagine the bustling marketplace of ancient Athens. Merchants hawk their wares, citizens debate politics. The air is filled with the sounds of haggling, laughter, and heated discussions. This is not just a place of commerce, but a vibrant hub of ideas and opinions. And in the midst of it all, a man named Socrates engages anyone willing in conversation. He moves through the crowd, his presence unassuming yet magnetic, drawing people into deep discussions. He wasn't a priest nor a politician. Socrates was a philosopher. His mission was not to preach or to govern, but to question and to understand. He claimed no formal school of thought. He wrote no books. His teachings were not confined to written words, but lived in the dialogues he had with those around him. Yet his ideas, preserved through his student Plato, form the bedrock of Western philosophy. Plato's writings immortalized Socrates' methods and thoughts, ensuring his legacy would endure for millennia. Socrates' classroom wasn't some ivory tower. It was the lively public space where he challenged Athenians from all walks of life. His classroom was the agora, the heart of the city, where ideas flowed as freely as the people. It was the lively public space where he challenged Athenians from all walks of life. From the wealthy to the poor, the young to the old, everyone was a potential student in Socrates' eyes. He wasn't interested in lecturing. He believed that true understanding came from dialogue, from the back and forth of questioning and answering. Socrates wanted to engage, to provoke, to make people think for themselves. He saw himself as a midwife of ideas, helping others give birth to their own understanding. His tool was the relentless power of questioning. He would ask probing questions, challenging assumptions, and pushing his interlocutors to think deeper. His goal to uncover truth and wisdom hidden beneath layers of assumption and unexamined belief. Through his method, known as the Socratic method, he sought to peel away the superficial and reveal the profound truths that lay beneath. Socrates' method, known today as the Socratic method, is deceptively simple. It is a form of cooperative argumentative dialogue between individuals based on asking and answering questions to stimulate critical thinking and to draw out ideas and underlying presuppositions. He would pose a question, seemingly straightforward, but with layers of complexity hidden beneath its surface. What is courage, he might ask. This question, while appearing simple, opens the door to a deeper exploration of values and beliefs. The respondent, often confident at first, would offer a definition. They might say, courage is standing up to fear or facing danger. But Socrates, never satisfied with superficial answers, would continue to probe. He would ask follow-up questions to delve deeper. He'd ask clarifying questions, expose contradictions, and gently guide his conversation partner to confront the shortcomings in their own thinking. For instance, he might ask if courage is always a good thing, or if it can sometimes lead to reckless behavior. The process could be frustrating, even humiliating. Students often found themselves questioning their own beliefs and assumptions. Yet it was in this intellectual struggle, this dismantling of easy answers, that true learning occurred. The moment of realization, when a student finally understood the depth of their own ignorance, was transformative. The Socratic method wasn't about providing answers. Socrates believed that wisdom comes from recognizing one's own ignorance. It was about teaching people how to think critically, to question their assumptions, and to arrive at their own conclusions. This method of inquiry has influenced education and philosophy for centuries, encouraging a mindset of curiosity and continuous questioning. The unexamined life is not worth living, Socrates famously declared. He believed that a life lived without introspection, without questioning our beliefs and values, was a life half-lived. To Socrates, the pursuit of truth, the constant striving for self-knowledge, was the highest calling of a human being. He saw this self-examination as essential not just for personal growth, but for the health of society as a whole. A society where citizens blindly accept dogma, Socrates believed, is a society ripe for manipulation and tyranny. Perhaps the most paradoxical, yet profound, of Socrates' teachings is his concept of Socratic ignorance. I know that I know nothing, he claimed. This wasn't false modesty, it was a deep understanding of the limitations of human knowledge. Socrates recognized that true wisdom lay in recognizing how much we don't know. This awareness, he believed, was the starting point for all genuine learning. It's a humbling thought, but also liberating. By acknowledging our ignorance, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, to questioning what we think we know, and to embracing the joy of lifelong learning. Section 5. The pursuit of virtue, knowledge is power. Socrates' philosophical inquiries weren't confined to abstract concepts. He was deeply interested in ethics, in understanding what constitutes a virtuous life. For Socrates, knowledge and virtue were inseparable. He believed that to know the good was to do the good. Ignorance, on the other hand, was the root of all evil. If we act unjustly, he argued, it's because we don't truly understand the harm our actions cause. This emphasis on the interconnectedness of knowledge, virtue, and happiness remained a cornerstone of Western ethical thought. Section 6. The trial of Socrates, a threat to the status quo. Socrates' relentless questioning, his insistence on challenging conventional wisdom, made him a controversial figure. He was not afraid to confront the established norms and beliefs that many held dear. His method, known as the Socratic method, involved asking probing questions to stimulate critical thinking and to illuminate ideas. He had a knack for exposing hypocrisy, particularly among those in power. His sharp intellect and unyielding pursuit of truth often put him at odds with the influential figures of Athens. Socrates believed that by questioning the status quo, he could help others achieve a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them. In 399 BC, at the age of 70, Socrates was put on trial in Athens. This trial was not just a legal proceeding, but a pivotal moment in the history of philosophy and democracy. It highlighted the tension between individual freedom of thought and the collective norms of society. The charges, impiety, corrupting the youth, and challenging the authority of the state. These accusations were serious and reflected the fears of the Athenian society. They saw Socrates' teachings as a threat to their traditional values and the stability of their city-state. His accusers saw him as a dangerous radical, undermining the very fabric of Athenian society. They believed that his influence on the young and his questioning of the gods could lead to social unrest and moral decay. Socrates, however, saw himself as a gadfly, stinging the state into self-reflection. He argued that his role was essential for the health of the state, as it encouraged critical examination and improvement. He believed his duty was to challenge complacency and to awaken his fellow citizens to the pursuit of truth and justice. Socrates' legacy is a testament to the power of questioning and the enduring importance of seeking knowledge and understanding, even in the face of adversity. Section 7. The death of a philosopher, a legacy of ideas. Socrates' trial was a show trial. His fate was sealed. Found guilty by a narrow margin, he was sentenced to death. Offered a chance to escape, he refused, arguing that a true philosopher should never fear death and must always uphold the law, even when it's unjust. He drank the hemlock, a poison, with serenity, continuing to discuss philosophy with his students until his final breath. Socrates' death was a tragedy, but it also cemented his status as a martyr for truth and free thought. Section 8. Socrates' enduring influence echoes through time. Socrates may have died over 2,000 years ago, but his ideas continue to resonate with remarkable power. The Socratic method remains a cornerstone of education, used in classrooms and boardrooms alike to encourage critical thinking and collaborative problem-solving. His emphasis on self-examination, on questioning our assumptions and biases, is more relevant than ever in our age of information overload and echo chambers. And his belief in the inherent link between knowledge, virtue, and a life well lived continues to inspire individuals and shape ethical debates. Section 9. The Socratic Spirit, a call to critical thinking. Socrates left behind no written works. His legacy lives on through the dialogues of Plato, his most famous student. But his true inheritance is not a specific set of doctrines, but a way of thinking, a commitment to questioning, to challenging, to never accepting easy answers. In a world often dominated by dogma and uncritical thinking, the Socratic spirit remains a beacon, a call to engage in reasoned discourse, to embrace intellectual humility, and to never stop questioning the world around us. Section 10. Conclusion. Socrates' gift. Socrates' life, though tragically cut short, was a testament to the power of ideas. He taught us that the unexamined life is not worth living, that true wisdom begins with acknowledging our ignorance, and that the pursuit of knowledge and virtue are inextricably intertwined. His greatest gift to humanity was not a body of knowledge, but a way of thinking, a method of questioning that remains as relevant today as it was in the bustling marketplace of ancient Athens. We are all heirs to Socrates' legacy, challenged to live examined lives, to question fearlessly, and to embrace the transformative power of critical thinking.